Welcome back to the Papa Beat channel. How you doing? Coming in sitting down because today we're going to talk about end of the world predictions. Throughout time, there has always been the prevalent belief that we are living in the end times, right? We are always living in the end times, whether it's natural disasters, nationwide pandemics, or something based on religious scripture. It's always a looming fear that hangs upon many people's heads. People have predicted when the world will meet its end, even as far back as the first millennium. These predictions often resulted in a mass hysteria, with believers going to great lengths to prepare themselves physically and emotionally for their final day. The most recent iteration of this endlessly recurring phenomenon can be found on TikTok, taking shape in a specific community known as Christian Talk. The only God, the white Christian God. Jesus, blonde hair, blonde mullet, blue eyes, flip-flops, and a Dale Earnhardt tattoo. The Intimidator. Recently, there has been a ton of Christians on TikTok freaking out about the rapture that was set to take place on September 23rd and 24th. Rapture talk grew as the movement spread and became more popular. Thousands of people were posting about how they fully believed that the end times were coming. Some were overjoyed, while others were stricken with intense grief. Oh God, we're gonna die. It's a bummer. This all began when South African pastor Joshua Mikela claimed to have a vision of Jesus telling him of his return to earth. According to Josh, he saw Jesus on a throne telling him, "I am coming soon.
I am coming soon."
Jesus then told him dates of his arrival, which were 2 weeks out from his vision. A clip of an interview with Josh talking about his vision blew up and started the whole craze, but no one could have predicted the mass hysteria that would follow. It was pretty shocking. Right out of the gate, people began to post videos of themselves preparing their houses for the people left behind.
If you're seeing this and you're still here, I'm so sorry that you didn't make it. At least you're here getting to do all the sins that you wanted to do and be naughty with your fellow sinners. I don't know. Maybe you can make the best out of it. But yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, if anybody's here after the rapture, because my ass is going up, I got a jacuzzi back there. Feel free to use it, bozo. One woman stocked up on candles and Bibles, as well as leaving behind laminated note cards of scriptures for the sinners who she believed would enter her home and probably fornicate with each other, because what else are they going to do with hell on earth?
It's true. No rules.
Like Jesus said, "I am going to come in 2 weeks, and I'm going to take all of the sinners and leave them."
Do you think he meant the other come?
Yeah, what if that was the thing? What if Joshua was right and he was like, "Hey, by the way, Joshua, I'm going to come in 2 weeks. I cannot wait for that day."
Jesus, what?
Whoa! Other believers began quitting their jobs, selling their cars, and rumors spread that some people were even selling their homes. According to one user online, her psychiatrist permanently closed her practice because she fully believed that the rapture was coming. A psychiatrist. She completely abandoned her patients and began posting TikToks about her excitement for the end times. Her patients were left in disbelief and shared her videos showing how insane she looked for abandoning her decade-long practice and for posting about TikToks online. Wow.
Well, that's the thing. If it's just going to happen, you got a 2-week heads up. Take a 2 weeks vacation. See if
No. I'm closing it down. It's the principal, Nick. Because she's like, it doesn't matter. We're free. She's letting them know, too. She's making a statement, right? She's standing behind. She's staying on business. Listen.
you should yourself.
You should go on the tallest building. You should yourself. Jump off it, no fly, big splat on ground. Hey, we just want to thank today's sponsor real quick, Starforge Systems. They hooked us up with this very mint, beautiful PC, and hell, I trust them. I mean, look at it. I wish I was from here. If you're looking for a new system, be sure to check out the link in the description if you want some nice, high quality, big gaming PCs, right? I'm able to play Crysis from 2007 with max settings on this bad boy. Yeah, I bet your computer can't do that, so thank you, Starforge, for sponsoring this video, and hey, back to the video. Since they were not expecting to be left on Earth, people began to give away all their money to random strangers. Smart. An Uber driver posted about how they were picking up a couple after church who were crying hysterically.
And they get in my car and, they're weeping. And so I'm like, hey, is everything okay? They were like, yeah, the Lord is coming back. Jesus is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, wait, like tomorrow? They were like, yeah, I think it's like between the 23rd and the 24th. I was like, Okay.
They said they believed the rapture was coming the next day and wanted to bless their driver with the remaining money since they wouldn't need it. Oh, dude, that is a blessing in disguise. God was just like, you got it, dude. There's your tip, you know what I mean? So before they got out of the car, they handed their driver a huge roll of cash containing various dollar bills and coins from around the world.
So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now keep in mind, in this bundle, there's even coins in it because it was like in this like cup thingy or whatever. So there's even like euros, and I see some Canadian money in here. So there's dollars, there's hundreds, there's 20s, there's fives, like there's all the denominations inside of this. So I have yet to count it up. So I'm gonna count it up and come back. Hold on.
After counting it up, it totaled to over $1,900. They also said that they were getting together in their neighborhood to discuss giving away their homes and more of their money. He's like, could you give me your address? Tell me the time for that. I would love to know the exact time and place for that. Hold on, Jesus is giving me another message.
You should open up your garage door and let this man live in the basement, free of charge.
Okay, Jesus, all right, you're coming home with us. Who knows? Jesus works in mysterious ways.
I was gonna say, this sounds, okay, here's the thing. I think Jesus was pulling a prank. I think he...
Haha, Joshua, knock knock, he's met Jesus. I was kidding the whole time. Practical joke on Joshua, but here's the thing I didn't joke about Joshua. There he's come all over my feet and my legs, like I said that would happen 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus, you're gone done pulled the prank on me. Not even Africa. It's like Jamaica. All right. Another person received a $300 tip from a woman who was overly generous for the same reason. Their coworker also received a $777 from the same woman, but after the rapture failed to happen, she came back demanding the money be returned to her. That's not very Christ-like, lady. Not every Christian believed in this, as many were trying to tell the others that this is literally stated in the Bible that only God knows when the rapture is coming. Yeah, but Jesus told Joshua,
Joshua, it's me, Jesus again. I'm being for real this time.
Oh, Jesus, I am not listening to you.
Jesus, I cannot listen anymore. The people are mad. I feel like I had like a really good like African thing going at the beginning and then it slipped away. Others pointed out that people have been predicting the rapture since the 1800s and would always try and convince people to worry about the next upcoming final day, right? This one's not to just worry about the next one. However, the 23rd and 24th came and went. Nobody was called up for the pearly gates and everyone went about their day as usual. Some who believed the hoax claimed that they got the date wrong. They said it was actually next year or a few years down the road or maybe a couple more years after that. And some questioned their faith. And the pastor who made the initial prediction went live and apologized for everything. Oh God. Why did I do that? It was not even Jesus who called to me. It was my mom.
Can a brother make a mistake?
Well, let's go back in time and take a look at other historic examples like the predictions proposed by William Miller. It looks a little haunting. William, you know, if he said anything to me, I'd be like, okay, William, the world's gonna end tomorrow, face. Thank you, William. William was a clergyman that had become obsessed with the Bible after returning from fighting in the Battle of Plattsburgh in 1814. Just want to show maybe a picture of it.
No, show some footage.
Yeah, shows footage of the Battle of Plattsburgh in 1814 when cameras were definitely around. Crazy stuff. He found himself particularly fascinated with the concept of Christ's return, aka he had PTSD and he might have been a schizophrenic. After seeing people die, you know what's kind of wild? Jesus coming back, right guys? Okay, William. He became responsible for creating the Protestant religion movement known as Millerism, aka the followers of the belief that the second coming of Christ would occur sometime between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. In that realm, right? His movement became popular, amassing an estimated 100,000 followers that were convinced that the world was nearing its end. They were strong in their beliefs despite being ridiculed and harassed by their peers. Which, dude, for those 3 decades, you must have been living so tall. Keep it counting, boys. Oh, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah.
This is like a common theme with all of these. They get it wrong. They're like, no, wait, it's the other date.
Because you're delusional. Because they believe it, and then they're like, oh, it was probably a mix-up. You put your whole belief system in that. It's really quite sad, Nick. During one event, William was egged by an audience member during one of his speeches, and I bet that sent him over the edge. In the span of just a few years, people prepared for this event by selling most of their belongings and turning their backs on their responsibilities. By March 21st, 1844, nothing had happened. The date would be moved to April 18th, only for it to fail once more. The last date proposed by William was October 22nd. On the day of, tons of people still believed in William. They put on their white ascension robes and climbed to the highest places available to them to await the second coming. Not only did this prove to be fruitless, but it led to a period known as the Great Disappointment, where people wept endlessly over their hopes being shattered, alongside a wave of mockery from people asking, why haven't you ascended yet? First off, as soon as if William came in, if William the dog came in trying to eat his own face and handing out white robes, I'd be like, you gotta get out of this motherfucker.
Why? Robes are fancy.
Robes are cool, but if it's in religious context, robes are not cool. Yeah, we're just gonna put on these robes and go to the mountain. I'd be like, might have picked the wrong batch, is what I'd say.
What if you, what about jackets? Like sick, like club jackets?
If they were club jackets, or even just a nice suit, you want to get dolled up to go to heaven? Why not? Robes, really? William Miller's popularity dwindled significantly, but he held firm to the belief that the second coming was approaching until he died in 1849. Maybe that's what he was. Maybe he was predicting his own death. Might have been. I don't know. The more that we learn about space, the more terrifying the unknown becomes, right? Very Lovecraftian. Since we've started studying the stars, one of the biggest threats to our planet has been stray asteroids that could potentially hit Earth, which actually me up sometimes. Can't even think about it. There was one that they said, like, one asteroid's gonna pass by Earth, and they're like, but when it passes by in 30 years, it's supposed to come back and hit us. I think they disproved it.
Here's my thing. If an asteroid's coming, don't tell me.
I would rather just not know. What benefit do you gain of being like, hey guys, seriously, uh-oh. In movies and shit, in movies they do that to build conflict for the movie. But what would happen is, like, Elon and all those guys, they'd be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna try this spaceship out. And they'd leave and never come back. As soon as that starts happening, well, Mark Zuckerberg's building like a, he built like a giant bunker in Hawaii.
Yeah, he said, well, it's not a doomsday bunker. It's just
and that's funny too. They're like, so what's up with the doomsday bunker? He's like, it's not really a doomsday bunker. It's just you could live there for 700 years if you wanted to.
it's a man cave.
I mean, it's like more of a man cave, and you're like, huh? Anyways, in 1910, many believed a nearby comet would end humanity. Halley's Comet, remember that one? Is visible from Earth every 72 to 80 years and has been spotted by humans dating back since 240 BC, which is crazy. I mean, go somewhere else. Hello. Scientists had predicted that 1910 would be the next time it passes Earth and observed the comet flying by using a spectrograph. This new technology allowed astronomers to view the chemical composition of the comet, and to their horror, they discovered its tail that was made of cyanogen gas, which is extremely toxic. Oh, shit. After publishing the report, a French reporter put out an article discussing their findings, but also included a line saying the gas from the comet could, quote, impregnate the atmosphere and possibly snuff out all life on the planet. Bit of creative liberty in the title there, buddy. People began to freak out over the headline, believing that their death was imminent. Before the comet could pass, companies began to sell comet pills, which claimed to fight off the effects of the toxic gas. Insurance companies offered policies of people's belongings in case they were destroyed. Farmers around the globe refused to plant crops, believing that there was no point since everyone would be dead. No more corn. I'm done with corn. Others locked themselves inside their homes, while others fled to the caves and sealed themselves deep underground, which I'm pretty sure is partially some of the inspiration for Fallout.
Oh.
There you go. After the comet passed and nothing happened, people were shocked to still be alive, and they moved on with the rest of their lives. I wonder what's happened with the guy who took comet pills. Well, Greg, we took those, you like look over to him, he's like having a seizure.
He's on Halley's Comet right now.
Yeah. Woo! In 1993, former sociology professor Hon Ming Chen had created a Taiwanese cult named God Salvation Church. It had also referred to itself as Chen Dao, or True Way, as well as God Saves the Earth Flying Saucer Foundation. I like that one the most. God Saves the Earth Flying Saucer Foundation. It was a belief system that was a mix of various religions and other Western cult-like beliefs, like the acceptance of alien intervention, right? You see a lot of that with Heaven's Gate. Kind of became a big thing in the 70s and kind of evolved over time. He claimed that the second coming of Christ would occur in 1999, with God revealing himself from a spaceship disguised as clouds that would take his followers up to heaven.
That'd be sick.
He claimed that he could talk to the gods and receive their wisdom through golden balls that he could see traveling across the sky. Of course, salvation was not free. It was reported that Chen charged $60,000 to join Chen Tao and another $30,000 to board their spaceship. He's like, you keep it under 100. they won't be suspicious.
Mind games.
Exactly. It's all here. He convinced 140 dedicated members to sell all their belongings and move to California in 1995 after changing his mind about where the historic event would take place. This changed after followers witnessed the numbers 007 written in the clouds, which was interpreted as a sign that they must relocate their headquarters elsewhere. AKA, there was probably a 007 convention happening around. They're like, oh, Colorado, we gotta go. Despite the fact that this was actually just a marketing stunt to advertise the 1997 James Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies. They slowly relocated to Garland, Texas. Apparently, this is because Chin thought saying Garland really fast sounded like Godland.
From what Master Chin says, Garland sounds like Godland, and apparently thousands of years ago, God was here and they were told to return here.
Garland. What's that sound like? Can I do that accent, or is that a problem?
I think it's fine.
All right. Chin had guaranteed on his own life that God would make his appearance in Texas, of all places. Not a bad bet. You're in good company in Texas saying that kind of shit. Where would God go first? Everyone's like, probably fucking Texas. Probably fucking Texas, all right? In total, they purchased around 30 houses on Ridgedale Avenue, soon handing out flyers to its other inhabitants on bicycles in order to thank them for tolerating their activity in the neighborhood as well as their magnanimous acceptance. Trying to win people over. It's like, more money. Garland, we see a ball in sky. Garland, what's that sound like to you? Like, what? Garland, what's it sound like? Rhetorical. Don't talk. I talk you don't talk back. They would wear all white outfits and cowboy hats. Awesome. That is so sick. Confusing the neighborhood as to why they suddenly become the headquarters of a strange cult. Some claim they were friendly and that their beliefs were simply amusing to them. AKA, they're like, look, they look funny. What do you guys happen? Be alien. You don't talk to them. We cowboy now. Right, oh, okay, you are funny as man. That is awesome. He claimed that on the 25th, just days before, God would show himself on Channel 18 across every television set in the country, taking on Chin's exact appearance.
It's 5 minutes after 12 right now, and Hunmin Chin's not on there yet. And according to his own philosophy and preachings that we've heard, he's a phony.
You knew he had an interview coming.
I don't know. From there, God would then help people survive a nuclear apocalypse that would occur in 1999. It would bring people to a specific rendezvous point on the shores of Lake Michigan, where flying saucers would take them to heaven after potentially stopping briefly on planet Mars, of course. And people in the neighborhood feared that the group would end up committing a because, Heaven's Gate. March 31st rolled around and still nothing happened. Chin approached a crowd of reporters and stated that he must have misinterpreted God's message. He stated that his remaining followers would once again relocate to New York. A large majority of them gave up on Chin too entirely and began the process of moving back to Taiwan. He told everyone that he would punish himself by giving everyone in the crowd the next 10 minutes to either crucify or stone him to death, which nobody took him up on. From there, Chin Tao's numbers were severely reduced, and the group faded into obscurity by the early 2000s. Who even knows? He might even still be out there.
I hope they crucified him.
What if one guy's like, I will? He's like, wait, 1 second. The ball just like fucking gets stuck. End of the world predictions have only become more common with the advancement of technology. And it wasn't too long ago that people thought computers were going to end the world.
There still exists a general state of either denial, complacency, or even apathy about both the reality and the potential effects of Y2K.
The year is 1999. And a lot of people are getting ready to celebrate the new millennium. However, not everyone's excited. A large group of people fully believe that the world was going to end as soon as the ball dropped because the world's computers would fail.
8 to 10% of the population were fairly confident that this was going to be an apocalypse.
It was believed that the planes would crash, nuclear reactors would melt down, and systems controlling rockets would fail and be launched at random. All of this delirium stemmed from a simple misunderstanding of computers' code. Up until this point, computers' dates had worked from 00 to 99. But people believed that when the computer switched to 00, it would actually go back to 1900 and cause computer systems to fail. Oh God, run! To prepare for this upcoming event, people withdrew their cash, believing that electronic banking would fall apart and destroy them financially. Businesses like Best Buy and Radio Shack warned people to turn off their computers so they wouldn't be messed with the time switch. And others built bunkers and stocked up supplies. On New Year's Day, all the computers switched over and there were minor crashes. Various ATMs were temporarily down and stoplights occasionally stopped working and random databases went down. No major computer system failed and all seemed to be normal. Out of all the crazes, nobody died. Though a 104-year-old woman was invited to join a preschool because the system believed she was 4. Isn't that cute? That's awesome. If you're watching this, chances are the most memorable end of the world prediction from your lifetime is the 2012 phenomenon. For people that don't remember this, or if you're too young or whatever, let me just tell you, when I was a kid, the 2012 thing, people were actually afraid of 2012. They were really afraid. My grandma, who has now passed, was like, we were watching the History Channel. She used to chain smoke cigarettes. We'd be watching like the History Channel. Of course, the History Channel had nothing to do with history. It was like aliens and shit. And she's chain smoking cigarettes, and then we were watching this 2012 thing, and she was getting me like horrified. And I was like watching it. I'm like, oh my God, is this real? I'm like, this is like how many? This is like 10 years from now, whatever. And she was like, when that year comes around, we should all stay together, and we should just get together and make sure that we're with family. And I was like, a haunting thing to say. It's like so cryptic, but everything's there. Like, you were gonna die and we should be together. It fucked me up, dude.
Was it the Nostradamus?
No, it was like, it's been so long, I can't remember. But all I know is just like the Mayan calendar's ending. Which also, even as a kid though, she's like, what the fuck do they know? And she was like, well, the Mayans. I'm like, who cares about the Mayans? The fuck, maybe they ran out of stone. You know what I mean? I mean, how far were they just like, I mean, it'll pretty much be done by then. The idea that the world would face a cataclysmic event in 2012 didn't emerge out of nowhere. In fact, people claim that it was predicted thousands of years ago during the ancient Mayan civilization. A device called the long count calendar was used to measure time at a very long cycle that counted years in large chunks. In short, a new grand cycle was said to occur after every 13 Baktuns. Each Baktun consisted of 394.26 years. And it was just so happens that the 13th one lands on December 21st, 2012. Instead of treating it similarly to the exciting beginning of a new millennium, people convinced themselves that a terrifying world-ending event would occur at the time. So much so that they even made a fucking movie about it with John Cusack. Really dumb. Not a good movie. He's in a limo and whatever. Theories are ranged from disastrous fires, flooding, aliens invasions, and planetary collisions, and mass extinction. Some kids growing up around believers of this impending disaster admitted to developing serious fear and anxiety problems in their older years to their parents' endless paranoia. It was fucked up. If you have said, like, the worst thing you can do is tell your kid, like, I'm really afraid. Because, like, as a kid, you're like, what? And they're like, you're fine. I'm afraid. Custom high-end doomsday bunkers saw a 700% rise during this time, as ultra-wealthy people wanted to play it safe and ensure the safety of their friends and family. Some preppers, like Tim Ralston in Arizona, would often perform doomsday dress rehearsals with the two children to make sure they were ready for the worst come December 21st. Another couple, Kathy and Bruce from New England, decided to stockpile bees instead of weapons. According to them, honey would become a valuable bartering tool in the coming apocalypse. I love that dude. That's a badass. Over in China, Liu Xingzhe decided to go a much different route, spending his entire life savings of $160,000 to build a 70-foot by 50-foot ark-like vessel to protect himself. He feared flooding the most and believed taking his homes to the seas would be the best option. Liu offered to let other people take refuge in alongside him. My boy Liu is selfless. He's a good man. In the end, the day came and went without anything significant occurring. Here we are.
I like to think that every time these doomsday predictions, that they actually happen in an alternate universe, or the universe that keeps going on.
You like to think that? Yeah, I like that. On TikTok, a woman opened up about how she and her husband have been talking with the Sumerian demon since July of 2013.
Me and my husband have essentially been talking to something on a Ouija board that goes by the name of Seven, who has been telling us that the world is going to end May 27th, 2025.
On TikTok rules, dude. She claims that one day the couple got bored and began to use a Ouija board, and out of nowhere, it began to talk to them in reverse binary.
In the moment, we have no idea what this means. We Googled it later. This is, again, July 2013. And it turns out it's binary, but it's backwards binary. So in this way, it meant nothing, but when we reversed the numbers, it memeant hello. Since
that day, they began regularly communicating with the demon. Goddamn, they became friends with them.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, Rockschmaw, you there? Yo, Rockschmaw's funny as dude. The demon had told them that they are the third group he has contacted. And the first two died during the first atomic bomb dropped in World War II. And the others was when JFK was assassinated. So the demon contacted JFK. Eventually, it revealed that the world would end on May 27th, 2025. It repeatedly told them to climb the mountain or return to the mountain in Sumerian. She said that they revealed the secret to close friends and strangers once they were drunk.
we have shared this with people, they either kind of wave it off, they're like, oh, that's cool, or they pretend, they say they're interested, but then they never really follow up.
Another person claims to have a recurring dream every 7 to 8 years where people all around the world gather to watch as the moon turns completely black. Like the eclipse? Yeah. Not long after, large groups of alien ships fly out from behind it and start terrorizing Earth. People flee and pray as they try to survive. Eventually, the night sky is empty and blown apart. The person who fully believes this is coming soon and that there have been warning signs all along. Yo, Roxas, stop that shit, bro. I'm gonna pee. A lot of people claim to have aliens in their dreams. Like one person who claimed to see a biblically accurate alien enslave the Earth. Okay, first off, a biblically accurate alien. Got it. In their dream, a giant orange orb hovers over the Earth, which is pulsating with plasma energy. It doesn't have eyes or any facial features, but everyone on Earth felt like they were being watched. He described the being as God and explained that he knew without a doubt that the end of the world was imminent. The dream ended with the alien keeping people captive inside of a structure-like shopping mall and also abducting people and putting them into a giant orange orb. Sounds like he just wants to go to Orange Julius at the mall. Doesn't it? And I was super thirsty when I woke up. Rockshaw, stay away from me, man. Nobody truly knows when the world's gonna end, and that's probably a good thing. There are scientists out there who have listed numerous ways in which the Earth could end, right? Whether it's soon or within the next 1,000 years, but so far, every single prediction has been dead wrong. The next time you hear about some crazy world-ending event, take a step back and really think about what's being said. It's probably coming from someone who's chronically online or a scam artist looking to drain you of your bank account. Or, you know, pollution and all that kind of stuff will kill us too. There's a lot of fun ways the Earth's gonna end. It's gonna be sick. But hey, at least we have YouTube, am I right? Roll them credits! We'll just end it that way.